Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes to us from a viewer. Thanks to B for this one. Amy plays a Mairsil, and she exiles Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, with its Comes Into Play ability. Afterwards, she activates the Draw Discard ability. Given that Amy has 5 cards in her graveyard, what will happen when this ability resolves? Okay, so when you have an ability resolving, you're going to follow all of the steps in the order that they're written down. So of course, the first thing Amy's going to do is draw and then discard, and then after that, the next instruction Amy encounters is that she's going to exile Jace. Now, whenever a card uses its own name in an ability, then the game interprets that to mean this specific card. And so even though the original ability that the Mairsil has does say exile Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, the game is going to interpret that to mean exile Mairsil, and so that part is going to happen just fine. Of course, the next thing that's going to happen is going to be where the problem is going to come up. You see, the next instruction that Amy is going to get would be to return that card to the battlefield transformed. Now, unlike Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, Mairsil is not a transforming double-faced card. And that means that an instruction to put it onto the battlefield transformed is not possible to do. And with that being the case, the Mairsil will actually just stay in the current zone that it is in. In this case, that would be the exile zone. So Amy is going to end up drawing and then discarding and then exiling the Mairsil and then not putting it back onto the battlefield. So probably not a play that Amy was wanting to make. Now, I already can hear a few people thinking, hey, wait a sec, Dave, I just took a look at the back part of Jace and I saw some really cool activated abilities there. We probably don't even need to draw and discard to get access to those abilities, right? And okay, that's a very interesting idea. Would it be possible for Amy to activate some of the loyalty abilities that Jace Telepath Unbound has? Given that she did exile this card with her Mairsil, shouldn't the Mairsil have these abilities now? So to answer that, yes, the loyalty abilities on the back half of Jace are indeed activated abilities. And yes, it is actually possible for something to activate those activated abilities, even if it isn't a planeswalker. If you somehow manage to give a creature those activated loyalty abilities, then that creature can activate them just fine. I made a couple of videos where I talked about this principle, and you can check those out in the description below if that's something you're interested in. However, this is where the fun police are going to show up. You see, the Mairsil takes a look at the card in the exile zone, and it gives Mairsil all of those abilities. Now, it turns out that in the exile zone, a double-faced card only has the characteristics of the front face, which means that as far as the game is concerned, the Mairsil will not have those abilities because the Jace that it has all of the abilities of doesn't have them either. As long as the Jace is in the exile zone, the only abilities that the game can see are the ones on its front face, that being the one where you can tap to draw and discard. So it turns out that Jace is not going to be a super great cage counter candidate for the Mairsil, and that's the reason why. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.